What's going on, guys? We're going to do something I've never done before, but I want to do an initial unboxing um, of the new controller I just got. What I typically use is, or what I've been using is a PowerA uh, advanced controller. Basically, just has two buttons on the back of the controller. It's a off-brand Xbox controller. Uh, that has worked really well for me. It does get the clicky noises. The one downside is as a more inexpensive controller, I tend to wear out the sticks rather quickly. I haven't had one last me more than 3 to 4 months, maybe. This last one was probably the longest, and that's after I changed to tactical sprint, always on. So I didn't have to sit there and hammer the sticks constantly. So noticed my sticks are getting a little out of whack again. So decided it was time to go out and get another controller. I wanted to still give PowerA a chance because they do make a more inexpensive controller. Figured if maybe I got a little bit higher grade one from them, maybe I won't have the bad luck that I've been having with them. And part of it is just the amount that I play, the style that I play. So it's most players could use one of the PowerA controllers that I've been using that I've been getting from Walmart for like $30. They could use them and be fine. If you play 15 hours a week, you're not gonna go through a controller, but maybe once every year and a half with a $30 controller. So um, it's definitely a good option for the more casual player. As somebody that plays nightly, pretty much, and I play 6-ish hours a night, 5 to 6 hours a night, sometimes more on the weekends. I'm putting 30, 40 hours a week on one of these controllers, and I'm hard on them. So what we picked up today, again at Walmart, is a Fusion by PowerA. Definitely a more sturdy looking controller. One of the things on this one is it has paddles more like you would see on a Scuff or an Xbox Elite controller, and it also has trigger stops. So we're gonna try playing with those a little bit and figure out how to get them up. But I literally just slid this out of the box before I took turned the camera on. So first notice it's got a hard case to hold the controller in. For those that travel and want to be able to take their controller and not worry about it getting damaged. It's not super hard. You could crush it, but it does have a little bit of a shell, so it's not going to be as easily damaged. Let's open this up and see what we got. Oh, it was already open. That's what I get for paying attention. Looks like we have an extra face. So if we wanted to change it to a white face controller instead of the black controller, we've got that option. So that was nice. That wasn't even advertised on the box. Also comes with an extra set of sticks and cord for corded gaming, which this is. So this is the cord that I've been using on the old controller. It's just a basic USB cord. They do give you a pretty long cord. This one's at least 8 feet. It might be 10. This one seems to be just as long, but it's a nice nylon braided cord instead of just the typical plasticky covered cord. And it looks like they've upgraded to a USB-C, if you can see that, instead of the USB mini on these controllers. Hopefully that's a little bit faster response time. I already have my USB port overclocked to 1 millisecond response time, so hopefully that will slow down the hardware response on the cable itself. So nice little upgrade there. As far as the controller itself, let's take it out of the plastic here. So it is going to take some getting used to for me. I'm used to just having the 2 buttons, but it sits nice. The triggers, the back buttons here, they let's see if the microphone picks them up where I normally play. Nope. So they're definitely quieter. It feels good. The grip on the controller itself is nice. It is a little smaller than a typical Xbox One controller. And that's just typical of the PowerA controllers. This is the old one that I use, that I've been using recently. So they're the same size. But if you went and grabbed a stock Xbox One controller, they're definitely bigger than these, which is nice. I know a lot. That's why a lot of guys play with the PS4 controllers, is because they were smaller than the Xbox controllers. But this one definitely is good size. The triggers and bumpers seem pretty intuitive. The thing I like is the triggers on the back. I'm not hitting the bottom controllers with my middle fingers where it's just a natural grip for me to put them. I'm not. So if I decide to, I normally do A and B with my middle fingers. So this will be A. So my right middle finger is A. My left middle finger is B. So slide cancel. Okay. If I decide to do that one as Y, and then maybe that one is melee or something along those lines, then I don't have to. It's a little bit more intuitive than what I would normally expect. So first impressions, I think it'll be a nice controller. The one thing I'm worried about is, did they just wrap a nicer cased controller in the same guts as this one? Because if I had to weigh them, this controller is twice as heavy as this one. So this one's twice as heavy as this one. So I hope this one's higher quality, because it was 2.5 times the price. It's everything I would look for in an Xbox Elite style controller. The only thing I see that could possibly be changed out is if you like the circle shaped D-pad rather than the arrows. It doesn't look like a circle shape would fit here, but that doesn't bother me whatsoever. I have been playing video games since 1988, give or take a couple of years, and that's the only shaped D-pad I've ever known. I've never used a circle D-pad, so that doesn't bother me whatsoever. So we're going to jump into some games with this. We're going to figure out how it plays, how easy it is to map the buttons, and then we'll give it an overall grade. So we'll see you in just a bit. All right, so we've got a night of gameplay in with the new controller now. Our PowerA Fusion controller. So overall grades. Initial impression was definitely an A. It feels like a solid controller. Good periphery on it. If you're used to the slightly smaller PowerA controllers, it fits really well. The trigger stops work. They're not for me just because I'm not used to them. If you're somebody that likes having trigger stops or likes the idea of trigger stops, they definitely work. They definitely do what they're supposed to. And they're super easy to change on the fly. So for instance, in Call of Duty, especially Warzone, you get the vehicles, you need to be able to go faster. If you got your trigger stop all the way over for firefights, so that's trigger stop completely off. So if you have your trigger stop completely on, so that gives you the lightest trigger, okay, then all you have to do when you jump in a car is grab that little switch right there, shove it all the way over, and now you got full trigger throw. So super easy that way. Mapping the buttons is easy. So for mapping the buttons, you just hold this button for about 5 seconds. The light right below the Xbox button right here, that'll start flashing slowly. You push whatever home button you want to map. So if you wanted to map A, you'd push A. Then it'll start rapidly flashing. That same light is going to start flashing really fast. And then you push whichever paddle that you want to use. Now you'll notice in the beginning part, I showed that it had 4 paddles. It does. It's got 4 paddles on there. They are actually super simple to take on and off. If you don't want them at all, there's actually a cover in the case to be able to put on there so that the contact doesn't get dirty. I actually ended up going to just the 2 paddles. I found just the way that's comfortable for me to hold the controller. I can't hold my hands up here like this. I can't get enough grip on the controller the way I like. So we just went to the 2 bottom paddles for A and B, which is what I'm used to using my back buttons for. So as far as intuitiveness and ease of use, again, I would give it an A. That's really going to be what makes the grade for this controller, is the durability of it. If it will last for 12 to 18 months, I would spend $85 on this controller every 12 to 18 months. If it's only going to last 3 to 6 months, I'm probably going to be more inclined to go back to the PowerA Advance. It's a much lighter controller, just as easy to map. I don't use the trigger stops. None of that really gets my juices flowing. So the only extra thing that this controller would have over this one at that point would be the C-type USB versus the Advance has the micro USB. So slightly less input delay. 99.9% of people aren't ever going to realize it. But if I get one extra bullet in one gunfight in one game, it's worth it to me. So as far as if I was to use it on an Xbox, I think it would work fine. It does have a headphone jack. So if you're using a typical set of Turtle Beach or Astros or whatever, you're going to be able to plug right in, not have any issues as far as your headset goes. So first impressions, an A. Intuitiveness, ease of use, all that sort of stuff, an A. They made it really easily customizable. Overall grade is an I. It's incomplete. I can't give it an overall grade until we figure out how durable it really is. So here's what I'm going to do. In 6 months, I will leave a pinned comment on this video. So sometime in April, I will leave a comment and let you guys know how long this controller lasted. So April of 2022, I will post a comment on how long this controller has lasted, if it's had any issues. Our benchmark is going to be, do I have to increase my dead zones over a 0.10? If I have to increase my dead zones above a 0.10, or we start getting the jitteriness that I get out of these controllers, because that's what happens with these, is all of a sudden my right stick starts to go out on them. So if we can avoid the jitteriness and the stick drift, then this one will pass its test at 6 months. After 6 months, I might be able to justify the extra periphery that this one gives you over that one. 9 months, it's an automatic win. So anything over that, we're winning. Would I recommend this? Look, this video's for people out there that want to game well, want to get the advantages that the people that can spend money on a Scuff or an Xbox Elite or one of those types of controllers gets. But you don't have the $150, $200, $300 laying around to throw down on a controller. Well, this right here, you can buy this controller and a brand new copy of Call of Duty Vanguard that drops next weekend for the same price that you could go get a pre-owned Xbox Elite controller. I would chance my money on this one. Here's what we're going to do. If I can get 100 likes on this video before the night of the 5th, midnight, November 5th, 100 likes on this video, I will buy one person on that like list that's subscribed to this channel. I will buy them a copy of Call of Duty Vanguard. And you can be on the stream while we grind out some Call of Duty Vanguard next weekend. So that's the deal. You get 100 likes, one of you guys is getting a copy of Call of Duty Vanguard. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn those notifications on so you know when I post new videos. And until next time, guys, remember, be kind. And I love you guys. We'll see you later.